All right, so we got some new information about the Nintendo lawsuit against the Switch emulator Yuzu. If you guys didn't hear, several days ago, Nintendo filed a suit against Yuzu, and now they are forced to shut down. If you aren't familiar with what Yuzu is, it is the Nintendo Switch emulator. We're going to get into it, but after what happened with Emulation Station being removed from the, I believe it was at the Amazon store or the Google Play Store, this isn't good. It's not good in one bit. All right, so what really put the nail in the coffin for Yuzu was the fact that I didn't actually see any of this, but based upon what was reported, what Yuzu was doing on their Patreon was that they were giving out early copies of games, and I believe it was the uh, Zelda game here. So we're gonna get to it. Nintendo wins $2.4 million in Switch emulator lawsuit. Yuzu to shut down. Everybody uses Yuzu to emulate all the Nintendo games, and the Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom developer, or the actual game, reportedly was released on their Patreon earlier than the official release date. So I believe that's really what put the nail in the coffin for them. Makers of Nintendo Switch emulator Yuzu owe Nintendo 2.4 million after reaching a settlement with Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom developer following a lawsuit over the open source emulator just last week. Again, yeah, this just happened. Nintendo and Tropic Haze, the company behind Yuzu, filed for a final judgment and permanent injunction on Monday, according to court documents, after Nintendo accused the Yuzu makers of copyright infringement, circumvention of Nintendo's protections, and selling those circumvention technologies as Yuzu, among other things. And just talk to some of the other guys in the community. If you try to update Yuzu or download it right now, it's completely gone. So the only access that you have now are pretty much ready-made images, computer images that already have it available, or if somebody has it backed up on a server somewhere for download. But as far as right now, the previous version, you would have needed to update it to make sure that you have the latest working version. But as of right now, it's completely gone, guys. It's toast. Uses a free Nintendo Switch emulator. It was released in 2018. It's a piece of software that lets people play Nintendo Switch games on their computers, their phones, and pretty much anything else. In fact, you can even play it on some of the single board computers and everything too. It's saying Yuzu let people play leaked copies of the game early. Specifically, Nintendo said more than 1 million people played the game before the release date because of those leaked copies. Now, I have no idea how they got that. I didn't even know that game was released early. But yeah, I mean, that'll pretty much do it. I mean, they typically don't care. I mean, they do care, but they typically don't care about you leaking or playing some of the older games, but you don't screw around with some of the newer stuff. Yuzu doesn't offer pirated or leaked games itself, but Nintendo targeted the company because the emulator is one of the few ways to play those games. So that's kind of a mixed report because the earlier reports did say that it was being shared via Patreon or whatever the case might be. Beyond the money, the terms of the settlement dictate Tropic Haze will have to stop operations on Yuzu entirely. It can't distribute it in any way, nor can it market it on its website or social media. Yuzu will have to give up its domain name, which is still active at this time, writing Yuzu's $30,000 per month. Wow, dang, they brought in some pretty good money. Yuzu's $30,000 per month Patreon is still up too. In a statement published on Discord, Yuzu maker Bunny, I think that's how you pronounce his name, or Binui, confirmed that anything related to Yuzu will come offline. Piracy was never our intention, but we believe that the piracy of the video games and on the video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts, Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites, Bunui wrote. We hope our actions will be a small step forward towards ending piracy in all creators' work. Yeah, this is a tragic day because, Emulation Station, they were trying to do things the legal route too by offering their front end directly through, I think it was Amazon or Google Play. All that is the front end, just like RetroPie and a bunch of other gaming front ends are out there. They don't offer any form of emulation. You don't play games with that. It's not, piracy is all legal. In this particular case, again, they were really targeted. But there's been a crackdown now on a lot of gaming front ends and things that are currently available, trying to even get more of a publicity out there. Even coding. I mean, there's been some instances where that's removed. You can't upload certain things or make YouTube videos on it because a lot of these companies like Nintendo, YouTube, and so forth are really just kind of cracking down on these things. Even if they're not directly related to piracy, they are getting known for it. In fact, one of my buddies a few days ago was simply just trying to upload a torrent online, and the system restricted him from doing that because of the name of the file. The Tears of the Kingdom publisher is known to be strict with his intellectual property. Nintendo won several lawsuits targeting pirated game sites like ROM Universe, where it was awarded more than $2 million in damages. Nintendo has also notoriously went after an alleged Nintendo Switch hacker named Gary Bowser, who was arrested and charged for selling Switch hacks. Though he's been released from prison, Bowser still owes Nintendo $10 million. He paid $175 while in prison for money he earned while working in prison library and kitchen. The Nintendo and Yuzu lawsuit has ignited once again a debate on emulation, whether the act of emulation is inherently illegal. Of course, emulation fans don't believe that. A lot of people see Yuzu and other emulators as an important tool for video game preservation. Nintendo clearly disagrees. And again, if you have a copy of the game, you're allowed to make a digital copy of it. Again, these emulators don't offer, I mean, in this particular case, I believe they did, but typically emulators, front ends, they don't offer a way for you to pirate the game. You still have to get additional things to go down to it. But honestly, where do we draw the line? Where does some of these companies really draw the line? Because if you want to argue the fact that emulators promote piracy, well then, are they going to start coming after the open free internet for that? Are they going to go after every website? Are they going to go after every computer? Because those are things that also contribute to piracy if they want to take that line. Are we supposed to stop using computers? Or how about your computer monitor? Or video cards? Or all the other little scripts and different development tools that are out there. So they really need to draw the line in the sand somewhere. Because I do believe that, Nintendo, they definitely have the right to represent or state their claim. But if they're going to start going after emulators in this particular case for this, particular reason, and I hope they have more than what I've been seeing here, then again, what's to stop any company from going after your computer, going after CD-ROM drives or different digital media that helps constitute that? Because you can't really pirate anything without you having some of these tools like additional SSD drives, storage drives, your computer, and even the free internet. I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, remember when they came out with CD-ROM drives, and Sony was mad at people for copying their stuff, with their music, but they were the ones responsible for making CD burners and making digital media where you could back that kind of stuff up. And who created the MP4 format instead of, when they transitioned from WAV to not MP4, but MP3. So again, there's more parts in play here just to kind of go after one particular emulator. I do think that that's really reaching, especially when you can't own hardware anymore or digital or physical copies of media. And even if you do, the full game isn't there. So that's going to bring up another conversation. But, all in all, things like this will happen. Nintendo and other companies will be able to kind of roll over some of these companies that don't offer direct access to piracy, because most of the people operating this stuff don't have lawyers. Now, if they're bringing in $30,000 a month, they should have had some type of legal representation. I mean, something, at least put up a good fight. Because, most of the people in the retro gaming community making this stuff, they aren't backed by lawyers and they don't really typically get involved in this. But, somewhere you have to exercise your rights, because like I said, again, where do they stop? I mean, are they going to come after your computers and your internet access next? Are they going to start banning you from owning particular hard drives and storage types? I don't know. It really starts to become tricky. I mean, I know a lot of people host stuff like, let's say, on Mega or like your Google Drive or something. They're going to come after that next. So anyway, Bunny, one of Yuzu's creators, published a message addressing the settlement on the group's Discord page, where they said all Yuzu Code, Patreon accounts, and Discord servers will be shut down. We've updated this story to include a portion of the statement. So here it is. This is the statement from one of the developers. We write today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued effective immediately. Yuzu and his team have always been against piracy. We started the project in good faith, out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measure and allow users to play games outside of an authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. And particularly, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak a game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchases and fans. We've come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step forward to ending piracy of all creators' work. Thank you for your years of support. So again, guys, that's pretty much it in closing. But again, where does the line? Where does it stop? There's many forms of different facets that make up this particular issue, but they got caught, and this is just a long stream of line of things that have been currently going on. But let me know what your thoughts are below, if you agree or disagree, or if you just have some concerns. Express your opinion in the comments below. We'll catch you later. Bye-bye.